Letters from my future. I was going through my mail one evening when I noticed an envelope with no return address, the handwriting strangely familiar. The letter inside was for me, or rather, from a future version of myself. It warned of dangers I couldn't yet comprehend, each subsequent letter becoming more urgent and frantic. At first, I brushed it off as a prank, but the details inside were too intimate, too precise. The first letter spoke of a minor accident that happened just as described, and my skepticism began to erode. By the time the third letter arrived, predicting personal events with airy accuracy, I was too afraid to ignore them. The letters came every week, each one outlining a new threat, urging me to change my routine, avoid certain people, or stay away from specific places. I became a prisoner of these warnings, my life dictated by scrawled instructions from a future I could barely fathom. Friends began to drift away, confused by my erratic behavior and constant paranoia. I tried to explain, but how could I possibly make them understand? I was alone, isolated in my fear, waiting for the next letter to arrive with its grim forecast. The final letter arrived on an ominously quiet evening, the air thick with the promise of a storm. It was different, thicker, heavier, as if the paper itself carried the weight of destiny. Inside was a single line of text: "This is your last chance." Beneath it was a set of instructions that seemed both absurd and terrifying. I had to be in a specific place at midnight, under an ancient oak in a secluded part of town. It felt like a trap, yet something compelled me to follow through. As I stood beneath the sprawling branches, the wind howling through the leaves, I wondered if I was about to meet my end or rewrite my fate. As the clock struck midnight, a shadow emerged from the darkness, stepping into the pale light of the moon. It was me, older, weary, eyes filled with a knowledge that transcended time. "You have a choice," the future version of myself whispered, voice barely audible over the rising wind. "Stay here and vanish, or leave and never return." The weight of the decision was crushing, the reality of my predicament finally settling in. I turned and ran, leaving behind the specter of my future self and the haunting letters that led me to this moment. As I fled into the night, the air seemed to crackle with a new possibility, but the terror of what might have been lingered like a shadow at my heels.